Why? What's up, y'all? It's me, Erica. Put in this thing here so we can have some continuity. Maybe I should turn it this way. I can be fucked with. No. Let's talk. Today is Friday. We are at home, relaxing, and we're just going to talk about some things. If you guys want to talk about the psychology of jealousy today, I have I have a lot of notes on that. Hopefully everybody's doing okay. You can go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know that you stopped by. I'm trying to get some light in here. I can be fucked with. No. I'm on that cash shit. A federal appeals court in a split ruling today rejected President Trump's bid to block a House committee subpoena for his income tax returns. There are psychological effects. What is this? There are psychological effects with repeating the word supremacy with white all of the time. It's like calling slave owners masters. Those words are used to make imprints on our psyche, and we must move away from those terms that keep our progress enslaved along with their minds. Oh, okay. I don't know what made me write that. Hold on, here we are. The psychology of jealousy. So we can talk about a few things first. Ooh, bitch, I need to put my glasses on. Why you playing? So jealous is an adjective. The definition of jealous is hostile towards a rival or one believed to enjoy an advantage. Envious. His success made old friends jealous. They were jealous of his success. Intolerant of rivalry or unfaithfulness. Jealous of the slightest interference in household management. Disposed to suspect rivalry or unfaithfulness, a jealous husband. Vigilant in guarding a possession. New colonies were jealous of their new independence. So from psychologytoday.com, the basics of jealousy is that jealousy is a complex emotion that encompasses feelings ranging from fear of abandonment, rage, and humiliation. It strikes people of all ages, genders, sexual orientation, and is most typically aroused when a person perceives a threat to a valued relationship from a third party. The threat may be real or imagined. Not limited to romantic relationships, jealousy can also arise among siblings, competing for parental attention, among coworkers, or in friendships. That's the first thing you got to do is kind of define how we're talking about jealousy and understanding first and foremost that it's not a gender thing, it's a human thing, and it's an emotion that basically you feel like you're about to lose possession of something, or you feel like you want something that someone else has, or a loss in something that's valuable to you. You feel like you're going to lose something valuable to you. Some key points I wanted to discuss were some misconceptions about jealousy. Like one of those misconceptions of jealousy being a sign of love. People mistake that the actions that come along with jealousy as being a sign of love. I've often heard women and men who find it attractive that somebody demonstrates jealousy in a relationship. Some people say that they're turned on by that. I don't know. I mean, I don't I don't know why somebody would be turned on by somebody being jealous, because I don't see jealousy as being a positive emotion. There are times when jealousy can be positive, like when it's a good thing. So that's something that we should probably talk about. People who are jealous, do they have low self-esteem? And then some types of jealousy where they're romantic, work, friends, or family. And when is jealousy justified? You know what I'm saying? And then how to feel when you are experiencing these emotions. Because the main reason why I wanted to talk about this, and I probably should have led off with this, but it takes me a little while to get comfortable at home, so I'm getting comfortable. The reason why I wanted to talk about it was because I watch, videos, I read, I'm online, and I noticed that a lot of people when in conflict, they reduce the conflict down to the person being jealous of them. And I always wonder, because myself, when I was first faced with that, like I had a friend and I called her my best friend and I'd known her for a long time, and different people in my family would say that she was jealous of me. And I always, my mother said it, my father said it, my brother said it. And then later, looking back, I would always think to myself, how could she be jealous of me? What do I have that she doesn't have? What do I have that she might want to make her be jealous of me? And I used to be like, no, she's not jealous. I don't have no more or no less than her. But at that age, I was equating that, what I have, into a material possession. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I was almost like, well, I don't have a lot of money. We're equally as successful in our own rights or whatever as we're traveling through our journeys as young women. I don't have more than her. We both live in, we both drive regular ass cars. We both live in regular ass apartments. So I was equating the thing that she was jealous about, that people were saying that she was jealous of, I was equating it to material possessions. Later, I realized that when I was in therapy, I realized that it wasn't what I had that she may have been jealous about or envious of. It was my who I was as a person, me, like how I was able to motivate people. The reason why I say that is because when our friendship ended, we always fought back and forth, always were falling in and out of our friendship. I realized in therapy that I maintained a friendship with her because growing up, I was always the only black kid in my friend group. So when I went to high school and became friends with her, I realized in therapy long after, a few years after we stopped being friends, I came to the realization that I remained friends with her because she was a black girl, and I wanted to feel that connection. I needed to feel that I needed to have somebody around me that looked like me. And the relationship wasn't the greatest. It wasn't really bad, but we fell in and out of friendship a lot. And that's when people would tell me that she was jealous. And I just was never like, I was looking at the material thing. And then later, like I said, I realized, and she sent me an email. I want to say it was a Facebook inbox. Might have been an email, but we had been friends since 15 years old, and she lived probably less than 10 miles away from me, and sent me an email to tell me basically, we're not going to be friends anymore. This was after finding out that she was talking about me behind my back and sharing my shame story that I shared, that I confided in her. She was sharing it with other people and almost kind of like reveling in my trials. And so I stopped speaking to her. She actually went to a mutual acquaintance and was talking about me, to the point where that person came to me and asked me, how long have you guys been friends? And I said, oh, we've been friends probably like 15 years. And she's like, well, that girl is not your confidant. I want to let you know that right now. She has shared with me and started telling me the things that she was sharing, because I was like what? Like what? And she was like, well, that, the situation with your child's father, how he is abusive and all this stuff. And this is stuff that I'm ashamed about. So when somebody who is an acquaintance and does not know your story comes to you and starts telling you about yourself and things that you are not proud of, it's a little jarring. So I didn't have enough. I started wean myself from the relationship. I stopped talking to her about personal things. I kept it very, very surface. And the relationship just, kind of like, fizzled out. And as it fizzled out, I guess she realized, okay, I'm just guessing like what she could have gone through her head. Like, she's not really talking to me anymore. I don't know if she realized, because I never, and which was probably not the best choice, but I never confronted her about, why the fuck are you telling other people about my business? Then later, she became or befriended someone who was actually stalking me. So it was really weird how it just, and when I look back at my friendships, I realized, like, God damn, like, were we really friends? But in therapy, I realized that she was more of my frenemy, and that was going to be the relationship. If we remained friends, we were always going to butt heads. We were always going to fall in and out of friendship. And I just didn't want, and then when I'm finding out that the things that I'm confiding in you about that I'm ashamed about, you're sharing those with strangers, I can imagine what you're talking about with people that we mutually know. She sent me a letter, and she said things about being able to create life, and being and this energy that I had about being the motivator and how I can motivate people. And that is when I clicked. And when it clicked to me, like, oh, she really has a problem with me as a person. And after a friendship ends or any kind of relationship ends, you start to kind of like, replay stories or replay scenarios or replay things that have happened. And as I started replaying different parts of our friendship, I realized, like, she would things like, when we would go out and we would meet men, I would shake their hands, and I have a very firm handshake. And when my handshake is firm, a lot of guys are not expecting that. So when I shake their hand, they usually say something like, damn, you have a really firm handshake. And she would be like, oh yeah, everybody says that. Like, real, like girl, what's the problem? And it was just a weird relationship. So when she sent me the letter, I in that moment realized, like, oh, she was really jealous of the shine. She was really jealous of the energy that people gravitated towards. And that's what it was. And then I was really able to understand, like, okay, sometimes it's not even about what you have, but a lot of times what you just possess naturally that people are jealous of. And I find that when I come in contact with certain types of people, men or women, I was actually friends with a guy who, he seemed to be jealous that people would just, strangers, when I'm out in public, in a social environment, strangers come to me, and I don't know what it is. They come to me, and they feel very comfortable with me, and they want to talk to me about, they want to unload, basically, because I don't know, they have a level of comfort and they just want to talk. And he used to make comments like, I don't understand why people just come up to you and start talking to you. And he was very attractive, and it jarred him because people would just come up to me and he would be like, I don't understand why people just come up to you and fucking talk to you. What is that all about? And I'd be like, I don't know. And, people are they just are envious of that. And sometimes they're envious of qualities that you possess. That's what I mean to say. That's how I need to frame that. They're jealous or envious of the qualities you possess. And sometimes they see something in you that they like, but because they don't possess that quality, it turns into envy or jealousy. And you can't help that. You can't help that. If there's some qualities that you possess that are natural to you and people are drawn to you, and people open up to you, some people look at that and be like, ugh, like, why do people like her? Why do people come up to, and it's very childish, but it happens with adults. And that's just what it is. So I thought it was interesting when I see people, I still think it's interesting when I see people deduce someone's conflict as they're just jealous. And it's like, well, what the hell do you have? And I'm always thinking to myself, what do you feel that you have that somebody is jealous of? Because to me, I feel like it's a little egotistical to be like, you're jealous of me. Like, where's the humility? I don't know. But that's just me. I still believe that I don't have no more or no less than anybody. I don't care how much money you have. Now that I realize that it's not just, but some people are jealous of possessions. Some people are jealous of the things that another person has. So there's two things, it's either possessions, material things, or your characteristics and your personality that people have a problem with. So here we are. So I had to share that with you so I could tell you the reason why I wanted to do a video about this. So I use Psychology Today as a source. Also use Psych Central as a source as well. I wanted to also talk about when jealousy is justified. Is jealousy ever justified? I don't know, because I really I feel like it's a negative emotion or trait to demonstrate. I believe it's negative. So I don't know if it's ever justified to be jealous of someone. So what do y'all think? Do y'all think that jealousy is ever justified? I don't know. How to control jealousy, or how to avoid jealous feelings. And then the gender factor. Are men and women different when it comes to this emotion? And then attachment styles. Because sometimes jealousy is based on you want the person, right? Another person, not what they have, not their characteristics, but that person, and you become attached to that person. So when that person seems to be attached to something else outside of you, you act out of fear and decide that you need to hold on to that person. And then it's translated as jealousy. So that's another thing. Although jealousy is a painful emotional experience, evolutionary psychologists regard it not as an emotion to be suppressed, but as one to heed, as a signal or a wake-up call that a valued relationship is in danger, and that steps need to be taken to regain the affection of one's mate or friend. As a result, jealousy is seen as a necessary emotion because it preserves social bonds. It motivates people to engage in behaviors to maintain important relationships. A little bit of jealousy, maybe they're saying a little bit of jealousy is justified because you can actually it causes you to say, oh, I feel like something is wrong in my relationship with this person. Maybe I need to work at it better so I don't have these feelings of jealousy. So that's another thing. Cultural psychologists tend to believe that humans are inherently jealous simply because, and I thought that this was really good, simply because our jobs, relationships, and material goods mean a lot to us and we don't want to lose them. And that is what I used to think. I used to be like, what? I don't have anything for this person to be jealous of, so I don't understand. So it says, as a popular misconception about jealousy is that it's the same as envy. Okay, so here we are. In fact, the feeling of envy refers to wanting something that someone else has, as a fast car or a house. Jealousy, however, is more aptly described as a fear of losing something. So I kind of use the words interchangeably. And so there's envy is I want something that you have, and jealousy is a fear that you're going to lose it. So, okay. Jealousy, however, is more aptly described as a fear of losing something, a lover, a promotion, a friend to someone else. Jealousy is an anticipatory emotion. It seeks to prevent loss. Keeping and maintaining trust is also a key ingredient to avoiding jealous situations. I have seen situations where people intentionally try to make someone jealous, try to make someone feel as if they don't do something or they don't show, you're afraid of, why aren't you afraid of losing me? So let me do something so that you can actually demonstrate an emotion that you're of jealousy, that you're going to lose me. And I don't think that that's safe at all, because you just don't know how a person is going to react when they have a fear of losing something. We have people in our community who kill each other because of our relationship with lack, or our relationship with not having access. And so a lot of the times when other people get things, and we like to kind of use material possessions to show success, a lot of the people get jealous of that and also envious of that, because they want that. You have it, I want it. There's not enough to see. We think like there's not enough to go around, so I need to take that from you. You can't have it because there's not enough for me. And that's a psychological conditioning that we have ingrained in us because of our positions in this country, being oppressed, not given access. So when someone gets it, another person is like, oh no, there's not enough, I need to get it too. So I need to either eliminate you so that I can have access to it, or figure out a way to get it. I think that's dangerous, to try to make someone jealous. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. All right. It says assess your relationship, not access. So assess your relationship. The best way to overcome jealousy is to take a look at your relationship. Like I said, there's some people who need their ego stroked, so they like to make someone jealous so that the person can demonstrate a behavior that makes the person feel like I'm wanted or valued or desired. And I just think that's the wrong way to kind of show or have somebody exhibit their quote unquote love for you, or their perceived love for you. So see. So jealousy in romantic relationships, and even in friendships, I've seen it, comes with the person's attachment style. How were they, raised? How were they cared for? How affection was shown to them? How they are, hey, sir. Yeah. Are they honest with you? So like people, when you feel like someone is not being honest with you or not forthright in a relationship, that can lead to somebody being jealous, because you're unsure about the relationship and how it is going, because this person is not communicating with you or putting you in a position to make you feel jealous. I've been put in that position before, talking to a guy, and he intentionally goes and talks to another woman in front of you. Right? And you are like, what the fuck? You can have a tinge of jealousy. Now, how you react to it is a different story. But some people do intentionally try to make people jealous because it strokes their ego, which is very toxic. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's really fucking toxic. Anyways, people who develop secure attachments in their early years between themselves and their caregivers tend to be less jealous and dependent, having a higher self-esteem and having less feelings of inadequacy than people with an insecure attachment style. So it depends on your relationship with your caregivers. How you attached to them, it also will translate into your relationships. And I think a lot of people are learning that a lot of how we were raised or not, and that how the tools that we were given while we are being raised, it translates to our adult relationships and our friendships, romantic relationships, working relationships, all of those relationships. How your parents treated you, how they dealt with your emotions, that translates into your relationships, which just makes sense. It says to ask yourself these questions, right? So ask yourself these questions when you are assessing a relationship, whether it be a friendship, wherever you're feeling jealous, okay? So ask yourself, do you have pervasive feelings of emptiness or a lack of self-worth? Why do you feel like this person? It's very important, because sometimes your emotions can be manipulated. So you have to be mindful to say, like, is this person intentionally trying to make me jealous, or am I feeling this way just based on their actions. Why am I feeling like that? Do I have some self-esteem issues? Do I have, you know, my self-worth, how do I feel about myself? A lot of people who have high self-esteem and a sense of self-worth are not jealous. What do you have to be jealous of? I have what I need. You have what you have. There's no need for me. That's why I would always be like, why would you be jealous of me? I ain't got nothing you don't have. You know what I mean? That's how I used to feel. How was your relationship with your early caregivers? What the atmosphere in your home? Was it warm and loving, but also critical? Were you raised in a repressive atmosphere? Were your early caregivers unreliable? And then the attachment style is how you deal with your adult relationships as well. So sometimes when you feel like your fear of losing something, that's when you act out in jealousy and come out in jealousy. Have interests outside of your relationships. Go and be outside. Then this is like more towards romantic relationships, but I think also towards friendships too, because I've seen friendships where somebody is afraid of losing that friend and they don't like another person coming around, or they don't like another friend. It's jealousy that they're experiencing. You're afraid that you're going to lose this person, or you're going to lose the attachment that you have with this person. And that happens. So recognize your jealousy. So that's very important, right? To feel like, okay, as soon as you acknowledge one, either that you're manipulated to be jealous, or one that you're just feeling jealousy, it's good to say like, okay, I'm feeling this, to acknowledge your feelings. I think that it's important. And that's what I've been learning, is when you acknowledge your feelings, it allows you to heal that part. And if you acknowledge it, you can say, okay, I'm feeling like this. Now you can navigate through the feeling and through the emotion. So recognize that it's jealousy, acknowledge that you're jealous, and it just opens the door for you to learn how to manage it if that's an emotion that you're experiencing. When you realize that, it's like when you realize, damn, I feel jealous right now. I'm feeling jealous of this person. I think it will help you. I mean, I think it will help. I'm just thinking about it right now. Like if I acknowledge my jealousy, like, okay, I feel a little jealous right now. I'm trying to think the feeling like when I'm online, and one of the reasons why I do not like to hang out on Instagram is because I have feelings of, is it jealousy? It might be envious. Now that we know how it's defined, envious, what does it say? Envy refers to wanting something someone else has. So maybe it is I'm envious. I have feelings of envy, and I don't like to watch it because I'm like, I want this and I want this and I want this. So I don't spend a lot of time on it. And that's me recognizing that when I'm scrolling through the gram, I have feelings of envy because I'm looking at these things and these people look like they're having a great time, and I don't like to feel like that, so I don't watch it. I mean, I don't scroll through it as much. I'm not on there a lot. You know, if I am, I'm not doing a lot of browsing because I just have those feelings, and I'm able to recognize those feelings. So I don't want to feel like that. It's a bad feeling for me. Like I said, I equate it with a negative. It's a negative emotion for me, and so I make a decision not to be on there. Right? So that's what it is. Letting it go. Tell yourself that you don't need the emotion in your life and you're relinquishing it. Breathe deeply. Imagine it flowing through you, and repeat as often that you're going to let it go. I'm going to let go of this feeling. And I just think managing it is like, acknowledging it is very important, and then understanding what triggers it, because then you could either avoid it, or you can, not avoid it to the point where it's a detriment, because I don't like to avoid things. I like to face things head on. But if it's something that you don't have any control over what somebody posts to the internet. So if watching that causes you to feel a certain way, don't watch it. And that's how you control or manage that emotion. Practice mindfulness. If your jealousy involves a romantic relationship, share your feelings with your partner after you've calmed down and see how they respond. Maybe it was an imagined fear that you had, or maybe it was actually really, really real. Journal, write down how you're feeling and what triggered. I think it's very important to to identify what it is that's causing, what behavior is causing you to feel jealous. What is it? Is it the presence of another person? Is it, you know what I mean? All right. Remind yourself of the positive traits that you have. When you practice gratitude, I think that kind of eliminates, a feeling of jealousy. Practicing gratitude, like being thankful for what you actually have instead of, seeking it outside of yourself. And again, sometimes it's the qualities that you have. You may feel like, oh, I want all this material shit, but honey, your character and your energy is priceless. And you should, affirmations. We do our affirmations. We speak positive words to yourself and be grateful for the things that you have. So what do you guys think? That's all I have for the psychology of jealousy. Hopefully we kind of can start a discussion. Those are some things that I read. So we can get down in the comments and we can discuss it. Let me know what you think and share it. And what else? Like it. And hit the bell twice for notifications if you want to subscribe to the channel. I know it's a different vibe. I told y'all it was a different vibe from when I'm in the car. Totally different vibe. Someone said before that at home I'm Erykah Badu and in the car I'm 3-6 Mafia. And it's, we do righteous and we do ratchet. So we could do both things. And that's what makes us beautiful, is that we are multifaceted people. We can talk about ratchet shit. We can talk about the shit that, that we're entertained by, or shit that's not that deep. And then we can talk about shit that's deep and talk about our feelings and our emotions and our spirituality. We can do all of that, all of those things. So I just want to say thank you guys, all the new subscribers. Thank you for subscribing. We're now at 6,000 subscribers, and I am really thankful for the organic growth of my channel, because I was gone for a long time and I came back. And it's just been growing organically, and I have some milestones that I want to hit. I said at 5,000 subscribers we were going to start the podcast, and here we are at 6,000 subscribers. So we're going to get the podcast started again. I'm just making some arrangements in terms of where I'm going to record. I'm going to do it in my room. I'm going to set it up in my room, but I'm redecorating my room. So that it can be, a place where we can do videos and where we can do the podcast, because I want to do a video and a podcast at the same time. But anyways, so you guys let me know what you think. Get down in the comments. Let me know if you've had any experiences with jealousy. If you somebody was jealous of you, or you were jealous of someone, and how you navigated that. I think it's important. I think it's important that we share tips on if you feel jealousy, or if you were ever recognize that you were feeling jealous in the moment, how you were able to navigate through that, and how you were able to walk yourself through that. So let's get down in the comments and we can keep the conversation going. You guys have a wonderful day. Take care of each other, protect your energy, and keep each other honest. Peace.